Namaste dear children. Welcome to you all for our English class. Children, today let us learn a beautiful poem called Africa written by David Dio. This poem speaks about the emotions and feelings of the people who have gone through the ill effects of colonialism, who have suffered because of this policy of colonialism. Children, you have learnt that India was the colony of British for more than 200 years, right? So what is this colonialism then? So colonialism is an attempt by one powerful nation to take over another powerful nation with an intention of ruling it for its personal gain. Okay. So you have learnt that India was the colony of British, right? So, but these British people, did they ever consider India as their nation? Did they ever consider the people of India as the people of their nation? And did they ever consider or did they ever work for the development and welfare of Indian people? No, they never did like that. No, always they thought about taking the wealth of India to their nation and to become rich, right? To enrich themselves, they used the resources, they used the people of India. So, not only the English, the French, the Dutch, the Portuguese, the Spanish, and many other European countries. So, during 15th and 16th century, what did they do? They explored the world. They discovered new countries. They went there with an intention of trading with those countries. But later, what did they do there? They observed the weaknesses of the people of those countries. They observed the weakness of the rulers of those nations, and slowly they established their power there, right? Then slowly what happened? These colonial nations, they understood how they were becoming or how they have remained backward because of these imperial states. They understood that and they started to fight for the freedom. So, this poem written by David Dio also speaks about the pains and the sufferings of the people of Africa. Okay, so you know that India got independence in the year 1947, but after the India's independence, many of the African countries got independence till 1970s. Okay, these African countries were not independent. In the year 1975, many of the African countries became independent, but they continue, means there was colonialism in the continent of Africa till 1991. South Africa, which is considered as one of the richest nations of the world now, it was the colony till 1991. So its leader Nelson Mandela fought for 22 long years. He was imprisoned for 22 long years, and because of his efforts, South Africa became independent in the year 1991. Okay. So, now before understanding the poem, let us know something about our poet David Diop. So, here David Diop was born in France. He lived in between 1927 to 1960. His parents were from West Africa. Okay, his parents belonged to West African descent. Here descent means what, children? Origin. They were of West African origin, his parents. But you have seen, in the lesson of Mauritius, how the people of Africa were taken by the European people as their slaves, right? And these people of Africa who went to different nations as slaves, they got settled down there itself. So here also, our David Diop's parents, they went to France many years ago and they got settled there itself. So that is why our poet David Diop, he spent his childhood in France. Then he visited Africa in 1950s. His poems, they highlight the problems of Africa because of colonialism, and also his poems gave message to the African people to bring changes and to fight for what? Freedom. Our David Diop was active. He was very active in negritude movement. Okay. What is this negritude movement? Negritude movement is a movement started in France. Okay. It is a movement started in France by whom? By the black writers and the artists, and it was against what, children? The French colonialism and its effects on the African culture and African values. So our poems are collected in a book. Okay, these poems are collected in a book called Coups de Pilon. So books of poems, it is called what, children? Coups de Pilon, and it was published in the year 1956. He died in a plane crash when he was just 33 years old. So, with this information about our poet, now let us understand the poem. Okay, first of all, I'll read out the poem for you. All of you, please take out the textbook and have a pencil in your hand. So, let me read out the poem for you. Africa, my Africa, Africa of proud warriors in ancestral savannas, Africa of whom my grandmother sings, on the banks of the distant river, I have never known you. But your blood flows in my veins, your beautiful black blood that irrigates the fields, the blood of your sweat, the sweat of your work, the work of your slavery, the slavery of your children. Africa, tell me, Africa, is this you, this back that is bent, this back that breaks under the weight of humiliation, this back trembling with red scars and saying yes to the whip under the midday sun? But a grave voice answers me. Impetus, son, that tree, young and strong, that tree there in splendid loneliness amidst white and faded flowers, that is Africa, your Africa, that grows again patiently, obstinately, and its fruit gradually acquires the bitter taste of liberty. Okay. So you have seen that. Now when I have read the poem, you have seen that this poem is not divided into different stanzas, right? It is not divided into different stanzas. This poem is a conversation between the poet and his motherland, Africa. In this poem, the poet has used number of poetical devices. Here, by the word poetical devices, I refer to what, children? Your figures of speech. You can find number of figures of speech. At least 4 to 5 figures of speech have been used here by our poet. Now, let us understand the poem line by line, and let us understand how beautifully our poet has used the figures of speech. Okay. So first, let us know the meanings of difficult words. So, first word is whip. Okay. Whip. What is the meaning of whip? Whip is a strip of leather or a lengthy cord fixed to a handle used to beat a person or an animal. Whip means ಚಾಟಿ. You have heard about ಚಾಟಿ, no? ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ್ ಆಜಾದ್ ರವರು 12 ಚಾಟಿ ಏಟುಗಳನ್ನು, ಚಡಿ ಏಟುಗಳನ್ನು ತಿಂದರು ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಈ ಚಡಿ ಏಟು ಅಥವಾ ಚಾಟಿ ಏಟು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಯುವರ್ whip. It is a strip of leather or lengthy cord which is fixed to a handle, and it is used for what, children? Beating a person or animal. Okay. Then next difficult word is impetus. Okay. Impetus son. Huh? So here impetus means acting quickly without thinking. Okay. What is the meaning of impetus? Acting quickly without thinking. Then next one is splendid. Okay. Here what is the meaning of splendid? Splendid means grand, majestic. Okay. Then last difficult word here is obstinately. So obstinately means stubbornly or chaladinda. Okay, what is the meaning of stubbornly? Stubbornly means chaladinda. Okay. So with these difficult words, see, whip, impetus, splendid and obstinately. With these difficult words, let us try to understand the poem line by line now. Okay. So, yes, observe the poem here. Africa, my Africa, Africa of proud warriors in ancestral savannas, Africa of whom my grandmother sings on the banks of the distant river. I have never known you, but your blood flows in my veins. So in these lines, you can find that, okay, you can find that the speaker is speaking to an abstract idea. He is speaking to his motherland, Africa. Africa is not a person. Africa is an abstract idea to whom the speaker is speaking to, right? So, which is the figure of speech used here? It is apostrophe, right? So, Africa, my Africa, you can find the feeling of patriotism. You can find the feeling of belongingness and the feeling of love in these lines. So, our poet is saying, Africa, my Africa. He is saying, my Africa. Africa, my Africa. Africa of proud warriors in ancestral savannas. Okay. So here savannas, you know, no? What are savannas? Savannas are the tropical grasslands of Africa continent. The tropical grasslands of Africa continent are called by the name savannas. So Africa of proud warriors in ancestral savannas, Africa of whom my grandmother sings on the banks of the distant river. I have never known you, but your blood flows in my veins. So he's saying that Africa of whom my grandmother sings. So you have seen while studying about the poet, you have seen that our poet spent his childhood in France, right? So he visited Africa in 1950s, means after when he was 20, 22, 23 years old, no? Then only he visited Africa. But he got information about his motherland from the songs of his grandmother. Okay. So Africa of whom my grandmother sings on the banks of the distant river. So Africa is on the banks of the distant river. So when we talk about Africa, we all remember the longest river of the world. Which is the longest river of the world? It is River Nile, no? Africa, it is located on the banks of this Nile river, and as the poet is living in France, he is far, okay? He is far from his, he is living in the place which is far from his motherland. On the banks of distant rivers, I have never known you. ನಾನು ಇನ್ನು ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ನಿನ್ನನ್ನು ನೋಡಿಲ್ಲ. But I came to know about you by the songs of my grandmother. So even though I have never known you, your blood flows in my veins. So here you can find the feeling of belongingness. So even though he did not spend his childhood, even though he did not spend many of years of his life in Africa, he has the feeling, he feels that he belongs to Africa. That is why he says, I have never known you, but your blood flows in my veins. He continues, your beautiful black blood that irrigates the fields, your beautiful black blood. See, African people were always, they were always considered as inferior because of their skin's color. He's calling the blood of African as black blood. They were considered inferior for their black color, for the black color of their skin. But here our poet, he says that with pride, with love, he says that you are beautiful black blood that irrigates the fields. Okay, that irrigates the fields. See, here you can find the use of one important figure of speech, that is beautiful black blood. Which figure of speech is used here? Beautiful black blood. The repetition of the letter B. So it is alliteration, right? So again, here, your beautiful black blood that irrigates the fields. Your blood flows in my veins. So your blood, Africa's blood means what? Africa is not a human being to have blood, no? So here you can find the use of which figure of speech again? Personification. Already you have found, no, the use of three figures of speech. First of all, apostrophe, alliteration, and now personification also you can find here. So next, your beautiful black blood that irrigates the fields, the blood of your sweat, the sweat of your work, the work of your slavery, the slavery of your children. Okay, so these lines speak about the hard work of people of Africa. He says that the blood of your sweat, the sweat of your work. When do we sweat? When we do hard work. When we do hard work, then we will sweat, no? The sweat of your work and the work of your slavery. Who do you work for? You are working for your imperialist nation, right? So you are considered as a slave, right? So the work of your slavery and the slavery of your children are considered as slaves. By whom? Those white people. So now he is asking his country. He feels very sad for all these things. So he asks his country, he asks, Africa, tell me Africa. See here, he asks, Africa, tell me Africa, is this you? This back that is bent, this back that breaks under the weight of humiliation, this back trembling with red scars and saying yes to the whip under the midday sun. Okay, so he is asking, the poet is asking, Africa, are you a very weak country? Is this your back that is bent? ಸೊ ಅವರ ಅವಮಾನಗಳನ್ನ ಸಹಿಸಿ ಏನು ಬೆಂಡಾಗಿ ಹೋಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಬೆಂಡಾಗಿ ಹೋದಂತಹ ಬೆನ್ನು ನೀನ. ಹೀಸ್ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್, ಈಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಯು, ದಿಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬೆಂಟ್? ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ದಟ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ವೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಹ್ಯುಮಿಲಿಯೇಷನ್, ಅವಮಾನವನ್ನ ಸಹಿಸಿ ಏನು ಬಗ್ಗು ಹೋಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಬೆನ್ನಿನಿಂದ ಹೀಸ್ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್, ದಿಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟ್ರೆಮ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ರೆಡ್ ಸ್ಕಾರ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ದ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟ್ರೆಮ್ಲಿಂಗ್, ಭಯದಿಂದ ನಡುತ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು, ವಿತ್ ರೆಡ್ ಸ್ಕಾರ್ಸ್, ಬೆನ್ನ ಮೇಲೆ ವಿಪ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ, ಚಡಿ ಏಟನ್ನ ತಿಂದು ಏನು ರೆಡ್ ಸ್ಕಾರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಆ ರೆಡ್ ಸ್ಕಾರ್ಸಿನ ಉರಿಯಿಂದ ಟ್ರೆಂಬಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ನಡುತ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಬೆನ್ನಿನಿಂದ ಹೀಸ್ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್, ದಿಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟ್ರೆಂಬ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ರೆಡ್ ಸ್ಕಾರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಎಸ್ to the whip under the midday sun. Okay, so Europeans, they were never satisfied with the work of the African people. Avaru eshte kelasa madidru kuda, the European people wanted them to work more. Okay, and they humiliated these people very much. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹೊಡಿತಿದ್ರು, ವಿಪರೀತ ಹೊಡಿತಿದ್ರು. ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಎಸ್ ಟು ದ ವಿಪ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ಮಿಡ್ ಡೇ ಸನ್, ಆ ಉರಿ ಬಿಸಿಲಲ್ಲಿ ನಿನ್ನನ್ನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತಿದ್ರಲ್ವಾ, ಯಾವುದೋ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ನಿನಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಬೀಟ್ ಯು ವಿತ್ ದಟ್ ವಿಪ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಆ ವಿಪ್ಪಿನ ಉರಿಯನ್ನ ತಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗದೇನೆ ಎಸ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ ಐ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಟು ವರ್ಕ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ಯಲ್ವಾ, ಹೌದಾ ನೀನು? ಟೆಲ್ ಮಿ ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾ, ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾ ಟೆಲ್ ಮಿ ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾ. ಹಿ ಸ್ಪೀಕಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ he's speaking to his motherland, apostrophe, usage of the figure of speech apostrophe. Okay, so Africa, tell me Africa. So is this you which is weak nation to say yes to the whips, okay, under the midday sun? Is this you which is a weak nation to bend? Okay, so he is asking his motherland. He is here, you can see the feeling of sadness. So he is sorrowful. The poet is very much sad. Okay, he is very angry about those European countries who made the people of his nation to suffer, who made the people of his nation to go through pain. Okay, now for his question, he is asking, no, Africa, tell me Africa, is this you which is a weak country ಅಂತ ನೀನು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನಲ್ವಾ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇದೆ ಇನ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ನೋ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದೋಸ್ ಲೈನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್, but a grave voice answers me. Okay, here grave voice means some serious voice. You can consider it as the voice of senior citizens of Africa who had belief, who had confidence in the strength and ability of their nation. Okay, so but a grave voice answers me for his question. ನೀನು ವೀಕ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿನ ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾ ಅಂತ ನೀನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಲ್ವಾ, ಆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ನಿಗೆ a grave voice answers me. Impetus son, that tree young and strong. See here, impetus son. Here who is impetus son? That grave voice calls our poet as impetus son because without thinking, okay, very quickly he had come to the decision that Africa is a strong, Africa is a weak country alva. So that is why that grave voice calls our poet as impetus son, the person who thinks very quickly and comes to the decision. So impetus son, that tree young and strong. See here, the grave voice calls Africa as the tree which is young and strong. That tree young and strong. Here Africa is directly compared to what? Young and strong tree. You can see the use of which figure of speech, children? Metaphor, right? That tree young and strong. That tree there in the splendid loneliness among or amidst white and faded flowers. Okay, so that tree young and strong, that tree there in the splendid loneliness amidst white and faded flowers. Okay, here you observe these words, splendid loneliness. So loneliness, it is a negative word. Being lonely, that means what? Somewhat feeling alone alva, negative word. ಒಬ್ಬನೇ ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು, being isolated, it is not a positive word, it is not a positive feeling, no? So loneliness, negative word, it is described by what? A positive word. You can see here, splendid. What is the meaning of splendid? Splendid means majestic, grand anta. Can loneliness be grand and majestic? So here this grave voice says that that tree in the splendid loneliness amidst whom? Amidst, among the white and faded flowers. So your tree, your country Africa, okay, so is there and it is strong now, and around it you can find white and faded flowers. Who are called white and faded flowers here? So here white and faded flowers are the white people of Europe. So what did these people of Europe do so far? they made the African people, the African black people to work in the fields, alva. White people, they led a very comfortable and luxurious life. ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಬದುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ರು. They made African people to work. Okay, they enjoyed the hard work done by African people. So now the European white people, they are faded flowers. They are not strong enough. They cannot work in the fields. ಸೂರ್ಯನ ಬಿಸಿಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಸುಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಸನ್ ಬರ್ನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಫೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ರೂಢಿನೇ ತಪ್ಪೋಗಿದೆ. ದೇ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ಸ್. ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ಫೇಡೆಡ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸ್, ಆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫೇಡೆಡ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ಸಿನ ಮಧ್ಯ ಯು ಆರ್ ಎಂಜಾಯಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಪ್ಲೆಂಡಿಡ್ ಲೋನ್ಲಿನೆಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸುತ್ತಲೂ ಇರೋರು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಏನು ವೀಕು, ಆಫ್ರಿಕಾ ಒಂದೇ ಏನು ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಲೋನ್ಲಿನೆಸ್ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್, alone being strong, that can be considered as a splendid loneliness. So here you can find the usage of another figure of speech, children, that is oxymoron, alva. So African people, they are strong because so far even though they have worked for British, they know to work. Okay, they can do all kinds of work. ಯಾವುದೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. That is why they are young and strong. But these European people, they are faded flowers. They don't know how to work. And that is why the poet, the Grey Voice, calls these European people as the faded flowers. They cannot work. Okay, so that tree, young and strong, that tree, there in the splendid loneliness, amidst white and faded flowers, that is Africa, your Africa. So your Africa is not a weak nation. Your motherland is not weak. It is very strong. It is young. Okay, so that tree is Africa, your Africa, that grows again patiently and obstinately. Okay, obstinately means what, children? Stubbornly, ಹಠದಿಂದ. ಇಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಟ್ ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ it is young and it is strong, and with all patience and with all chala, obstinately, it will grow again. Okay, so here you can find the belief, okay, the belief of the Grey Voice, the senior citizens of Africa, in the strength of their nation. So the Grey Voice says that grows again patiently and obstinately. So again here you can find the usage of personification. A tree is an inanimate object. The poet is saying that it grows patiently and obstinately. ಈ patience, ಸಹನೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಛಲ ಏನಿದೆ, these are the qualities of human beings, ಹೌದಾ? So that is why you can find the usage of which figure of speech here? Personification. That grows again patiently and obstinately, and its fruit gradually acquires the bitter taste of liberty. Okay, so ಕೈ ಕೆಸರಾದರೆ ಬಾಯಿ ಮೊಸರು. These people, they work, okay, with all patience. They work obstinately and patiently, and one day they will achieve independence, and they will enjoy what, children? Liberty there. But the liberty which they will get to know in the future, that liberty will not be got very easily. ಸಸಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಕೈ ಕೆಸರಾದರೆ ಬಾಯಿ ಮೊಸರು. That liberty, its fruit, okay, its fruit acquires the bitter taste of liberty. ಅವರು ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನ ಪಡಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. bitter taste of liberty. So liberty is a positive word. Freedom is a positive word. Bitter taste is a negative word. ಹೌದಾ? ಸ್ವಾತಂತ್ರ್ಯ ಪಡಿಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ಪಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಕಷ್ಟ. So again here you can see the bitter taste of liberty. Two opposite ideas, bitter taste, liberty. Two opposite ideas are used to give an effect. You can find the usage of which figure of speech here? Oxymoron. Splendid loneliness, the bitter taste of liberty. Two opposite words are used to give the effect, right? So in this way, the poem describes the strength and the ability of the African countries, the ability of the people of Africa. So even though in the beginning the poet is sad, finally he is happy with the answer given by whom? That grave voice. That grave voice has belief, has confidence in the ability of its people. Okay. So here we are ending our poem. Now again let us revise the figures of speech used in the poem. So here I have told apostrophe. Okay. Africa, my Africa. Africa, tell me Africa. Is this you? This back that is bent? See, usage of apostrophe. The speaker, the poet is speaking to an inanimate object. Then next one, you can find the usage of beautiful black blood. That is an example for what? Alliteration. Beautiful black blood, BBB, repetition. It is an example for alliteration. Then next one, personification. Your blood that irrigates the fields. Africa is an inanimate or abstract idea, alva? So, adra blood anta helidre, human quality is given to it, alva? Again, that grows again patiently and obstinately. Here that means what? The young and strong tree anta African kadidralva. That grows again patiently and obstinately. So, the figure of speech used here is personification. Okay. Then see here the use of metaphor. Young and strong tree. Africa is called young and strong tree. White and faded flowers. It is Europeans, especially the French. So you can find the use of metaphor here. Young and strong tree. A direct comparison between Africa and young and strong tree. Then Europeans and white and faded flowers, metaphor. And finally, oxymoron, two opposite ideas. Okay, bitter taste of liberty and splendid loneliness. Oxymoron is used in these lines. Okay, I hope you have understood the poem. Children, go through the poem once again, and if you find any difficulty, let us discuss it again. Thank you very much.